Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyersportsbetting.com. Look us up on Roku or in the sports section, Dwyer Boxing and Sports News. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Big development for gamblers in week 1 of the National Football League. We've now seen Chip Kelly's offense with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's revolutionary. This is outside the box, right? It may well have a lasting impact on the NFL, right? The way I view it is that the rest of the league is going to have to adjust to what the Eagles are doing. And in the short term, they won't be able to, because you cannot replicate what the Eagles are doing in practice, right? They're getting in a whole host of plays in a short period of time. And yesterday, their opponent, the Washington Redskins, looked woefully unprepared and unable to adapt, right? Now, bettors know that the casinos offer you far more options than just picking the winner. In particular, at casinos, they will offer you halftime bets. In other words, you can take a team simply to win the first half. Well, that's the half that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be most successful in, because that's when they're going to catch an opponent unprepared. That's when an opponent won't be able to make adjustments, right? And won't have the benefit of the coaching staff breaking down film at halftime. So going forward, I believe it's a great play for gamblers for at least the next 2 weeks to take the Philadelphia Eagles in the first halves of their games, right? Let's talk about it. Understand, yesterday, in the first half, wide receiver Deshaun Jackson had over 100 receiving yards, right? He was wide open, folks, on plays. In other words, Washington literally didn't know whether to turn left or turn right. These are structural problems. LaShawn McCoy ran for over 100 rushing yards in the first half. In other words, the Redskins, a playoff team from last year, did not succeed in stopping either the pass or the run, right? Redskin players look slow to get back to the line of scrimmage. A lot of McCoy's runs were just right up the middle, right behind the center. The way they have the offense constructed, the defense couldn't figure out who had the ball, McCoy or Michael Vick, right? Vick in the first half was doing whatever he wanted, right? Even with a fluke touchdown by the Washington Redskins scored by defensive back D'Angelo Hall on a pass behind the line of scrimmage that he was able to pick up. Even with that, Philadelphia completely dominated the first half of the game. Now, next week, think about it. They play the San Diego Chargers at home, right, in Philly. Now, the Chargers just played one of the late games, in fact, the late game on Monday night in San Diego. It's awfully hard for West Coast teams in the Pacific time zone to travel to the East Coast and to adjust to the East Coast game, right? San Diego already is going to be suffering from jet lag. They're going to hop off the plane, and then they're going to be dealing with an offense that literally is running more plays in the first half than almost any team has for several years, right? Philadelphia in the first half against the San Diego Chargers, to me, looks like a layup betting wise. In the second half, Washington yesterday did make adjustments, right? There are ways to slow down the Philadelphia Eagles. But in the first half, that's almost impossible. Understand, Michael Vick claims that Philadelphia has only unveiled 60% of its offense. Let me point out, too, that the week after next week, Philadelphia plays another home game. Keep in mind, yesterday's game was on the road. And that home game is going to be against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I understand they're coached by Andy Reid, Philadelphia's former coach. It's going to be an emotional game. But the Kansas City Chiefs aren't built to go toe-to-toe with the football equivalent of the Los Angeles Lakers Showtime from the 1980s, right? The Chiefs are a methodical team in which, Jamal Charles gets a lot of carries, averages more than 5 yards a carry, and Alex Smith is really more of a game manager than a gunslinger. So to me, I believe Philadelphia is a pretty good bet to win the first half of the game that's scheduled for September 19th. Let's jump forward. Oh, let me also point out the obvious too. That Kansas City game is actually going to be a Thursday night game. What does that mean? It means that Kansas City is only going to have a short window of time, just a few days, to prepare for this Philadelphia fast break offense. There's no way they're going to be able to do it, right? I like Philadelphia in the first half of that Kansas City game. Now here's where it gets interesting. The very next game, Philadelphia travels to Denver. It's an open question on whether a team can get off as many plays as Philadelphia wants to get off without hitting the wall in the high altitude air of Denver. In any event, that first half over in the Philadelphia-Denver game looks like a layup to me. Denver has a very high-powered passing attack. Philadelphia's secondary is reconstructed this year. I don't think Denver will be able to stop Philadelphia in the first half. I don't think Philadelphia will be able to stop Denver in the first half. I like the over in the first half on that Philadelphia-Denver game 3 weeks from now. We could stretch it out further, but I believe you want to just deal in 3-week horizons because too much can happen during that period of time. Injuries and things like that. But just know, right now, and it's September the 10th, 2013, Philadelphia in the first half of games, on the first half props being offered by casinos, is an awfully compelling bet. Certainly for the September 15th game at home against the San Diego Chargers and the September 19th Thursday night game at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. I also like the over in the first half for both teams for the September 29th game, Philadelphia at Denver. Let me know what you think. If you have gambling advice, let's make this a forum for gamblers. Please leave your comments in the comment section to this video. Let's try to beat the casino. Thanks for stopping by.